Hey guys, happy Sunday to everybody. It is just after Sunday, a little after noon. Although we had to change the clocks back last night, and that's completely thrown me off. Like I'm so surprised at how much changing the clocks back has messed with my schedule, like my internal schedule. So I was up way earlier than I was needing to be because that's just what my body's used to. It's super weird. And then I was just kind of waiting around to go to my bar class, and it's like, what the heck? I got some I don't know. I had like endless amounts of time. So then I went and did some grocery shopping, did stuff I normally don't do this time of day. But yeah, so happy Sunday to everybody. Hopefully everybody's enjoying that extra hour that we gained back. I'm just going to put Monroe into this little sleeper. And this is by Jules. It's got little stripes on the feet, and it's got little, I want to say it's like circus themed animals. It's very cute. I happen to love the Jules line. In fact, I just placed an order for some more items from them for Monroe. I also buy from them for myself. I get a lot of my boots from them. They have really, really nice stuff. So if you have never checked out their website, you should totally check it out. The quality of their items is just beyond nice. Like their cotton wear, like all like the baby's clothes and stuff is just such a nice quality. It just is nice and thick. I don't know, I like it. And so I haven't had her in this one in quite some time, and it is cold outside today. So yesterday was really sunny. Even though it was chilly out, it was still nice and sunny. Today, it started out just chilly and still sunny, and then it started to rain, and that just all went downhill after that. So I'm going to put her in some comfy pajamas, and I'm going to chat with you guys about the silicone durability thing that I mentioned in my video yesterday. And this is stemmed from a video that Ines, the Reborn Doll Connection. Is that what her channel name is? Oh God, I feel like she's changed it a little bit. Anyways, Ines was asking questions about what collectors' thoughts were on silicone durability. And I've talked about silicone durability, but not in this context. So the question is, is there a direct correlation to softness or firmness of silicone to its durability? And I think for a lot of collectors, they think that in general, yes, if it's more firm, then it would be either more durable or less durable. So in my eyes, it's a very gray area, which is why I wanted to talk about it in one of my videos, because it's something that I think there's a lot of falsehoods like out there amongst the community for those that haven't maybe been collecting for as long as others. So I base my information on my experience with specific artists' dolls, and also based off of what I've seen over the years with other collectors along with my experiences. So you guys know that I am absolutely a sucker for Claire Taylor's silicone. Y'all are probably sick of hearing me praise how great and talk about how lovely and wonderful Claire's silicone is. There's a reason why I have kept coming back to Claire's silicone over the years. I've dabbled with lots of other artists. I've tried silicone dolls by many artists over the years as silicone has become super popular. And here's what I have found about durability. So it is not directly related to a softness versus durability. It's not an equal thing. So it's not cut and dry. Like if it's firm, it's more durable. If it's softer, it's less durable. I think that it totally depends on the mixture that each artist creates. So because it's mixed by hand by the artist when they pour the doll, it changes from doll to doll, from edition to edition, over the years, as new products came out, artists were adding slacker and other additives to change the silicone, to soften the silicone, to make their own formula, so to speak. And I think that has affected different silicones' durability over the years. So I will take you back to, I want to say like 5 or 6 years ago, I think, when I had Allie Saxton. So you will probably never ever see an Allie Saxton in a video shared online because most of them disintegrated. It was the first time we saw a soft core tummy that I still don't know what it was made of. It didn't feel like gel, like the newer ones feel gel-like, or just a super soft silicone mixture. This felt different. She had softer silicone than what current dolls around her were out at. So like the dolls that were made at the same time as Allie Saxton edition tend to be more firm. So she was the first softer silicone, and she had hired, from what I read on her website, she had hired an FX silicone specialist, like someone that does like silicone work in the movies, to pour these dolls for her. The problem is that she was new to it. She hadn't done her research. She trusted that this silicone FX person knew about durability and trusted that he was making very durable, long-lasting silicone dolls. In fact, it was not the case. They had added something in with the mixture. I think it was first of all, I think it was tin silicone. I don't think it was platinum silicone that was the base. And the problem with the platinum silicone is the long-lasting. The problem with tin silicone is that it breaks down pretty quickly, depending on what else you add in the mixture. And that's exactly what happened with that edition. They all broke down. They all started to rip and tear, not even from handling. It was just the doll disintegrated. It just wasn't meant to last. If you're ever looking at a doll for sale, don't invest in a tin silicone doll. They will not last. They just won't. They're not meant to. It's not a long-lasting type of silicone. So with that being said, that made me very leery and very careful and cautious about what dolls I invested in. Prior to having Allie Saxton, I had had several Claire Taylor dolls over the years. I have had, like from the start, very early on in Claire's career, of silicone, I started buying her dolls. That's when I found her, thanks to a friend that told me I had to get one of her dolls, and I've been hooked ever since. But in between, like, I've never had a problem with any of Claire's dolls that I've had. Not one. Not one have I ever had that was breaking down, ever was tearing and having a silicone issue. Never had paint issues. And part of, like, the whole silicone durability is how well someone is able to paint silicone. So there are artists out there that state that softer silicone is harder to paint. I have not heard Claire Taylor ever say that it's been harder to paint, but Claire Taylor has evolved over the years and been in the business a lot longer than a lot of other artists that are newer to it, or, just haven't been painting silicone dolls as long as she is, or she just has figured out the right mixture. A lot of it, I think, for silicone artists is trial and error, and I've said this before. And a lot of times, unfortunately, we, the collectors, can be the guinea pigs at times, and we won't know there's a problem until we've had the doll for a little bit. So I've had Sylvia Manning's dolls. I've had a lot of Romy Stridham's dolls. I've had, oh my gosh, Sandy Faber's dolls. I've had Vicki Ebling's dolls early on. Like, I've had a lot of different artists. Now, granted, I haven't had a lot of the newer artists that are currently putting out silicone dolls because I've stopped really looking. But based on what my friends have said about specific artists, I kind of know who has, like, the painting down, who might still be having some trouble with matting issues, and who might be having trouble with the silicone itself. So I have found that as the newer artists have emerged over the last several years, I have found the softer the silicone keeps getting, but also the more delicate it seems to feel to collectors. And that's the one thing that I will state, that normally I would say overall, if I were rating just Claire's work, I would say that her dolls are equally durable from her firm dragon skin platinum silicone to her current super soft silicone. I can safely say that I've had them all. I've handled them all. I've dressed them all. I've had them all throughout different stages, and I've never had a problem with any rips and tears, no matter how much I've handled them. But I feel like, this is something I feel I can't say that for sure, is that I do think that the softer silicone might be a little bit less durable if stressed. Only reason why I feel that way is because of the fact that it's got a lot more stuff in it to make it softer. I have never had an issue with the softer, but it makes me take pause and take more caution with the newer dolls, because I don't want anything to happen. And I think because they easily can bend and move, it's very easy to bend them in the wrong way that might cause stress or strain on the silicone. But I can't say for sure that that's really truthful. I just have a feeling in the back of my mind, and I just kind of, in my brain, I just think that the softer silicone might be a little less durable. Now, as far as like, let's use Romy Stridum for an example. Romy Stridum's dolls, I've had early on dolls, like the soft-bodied, like cloth-bodied silicone dolls that had more firm, I don't know if it was dragon skin, but it was more firm platinum silicone. And I've had her very soft silicone, full-bodied silicone babies, multiples. And to me, I felt for sure her softer silicone dolls were they were more likely to tear. They just seemed more delicate, a lot more delicate than her firm silicone. And that's just from my experience of having both ends of the spectrum with her. So I feel like for hers, yeah, the softer silicone was definitely more, it seemed more delicate. And I had a hard time with the bigger, heavier babies because I was so worried that silicone would tear just from handling them, picking them up, that it just made me steer clear of her full-size babies. I like that she's doing newborn babies now. I think that they're going to be better for the silicone, and that also plays a part in it. Like, the bigger the doll and the softer the silicone, like the heavier the doll is, like above 10 pounds, if you don't have something to support the limbs, I think that you run into the problem of having them be more susceptible to tears, so they're less durable to me. I think that especially that very super soft, what we're calling marshmallow silicone, like that can describe a number of different softnesses of silicone. Some might call Claire Taylor's silicone marshmallow silicone, but I would say that it's not. There's a density, there's a different feel to Claire's silicone, even though it's super soft and super squishy, compared to other artists' super soft silicone that feels almost like they look like they move when they move like a wet noodle, like they just don't have any form to them. And I think that's taking the softness too far. And I also think that there's less durability to that silicone. That is only my opinion, but based on what my friends have collected and what their feedback has been on super soft marshmallow silicone, I think that should be used for very small babies only. And artists should stick to a little bit firmer so that they hold their shape and they don't bend weirdly in unnatural positions. I think that's why Claire still is trying to perfect making hers very bendable, but not bendable in a way that it's unnatural for a real baby to bend, but still keeping it soft. There's a delicate balance there, and I think that it really just depends on the artist. I think it depends on what they're trying out, because I think every artist is trying to make the most realistic feeling doll, and with that comes trial and error of what works with silicone. And when they produce the doll at that moment, when they're painting, producing, and sending them off to their mommies, I don't know if artists, especially newer to it, know what the durability is going to be of their said dolls at that time. I think that they learn as they go, and that's just part of our hobby. I think it's part of being a collector and kind of having an understanding when we are buying these dolls that they are still works of art. They're still, not guaranteed to hold up for a specific amount of time. It's really difficult. It's also why I'm always beyond super cautious, and I state how to care for your doll when I do those types of videos. I'm probably more cautious than a lot of other collectors out there. And, the reason behind it is because we don't really fully know long term how long these dolls will last. And it really depends on how we care for them, how we handle them, the things we expose them to. And in the back of my mind, I'm always thinking that the less I do to this doll, the longer it's going to preserve her, it's going to preserve her whole, little self. Like, I want to preserve what condition she's in right now for as long as I possibly can. So that's why I choose not to bathe my dolls. That's why I choose not to feed them a lot or have a pacifier in their mouth a lot. And it's not because technically you can't and that the artist says you can't. They just don't recommend excessive handling. Even now, with all that they know about silicone, I think that there's still a question of how long will the silicone last? Will it start to break down over a period of time? I mean, it really just depends. I've seen dolls from artists that I trust and know I've never had problems with that have been virtually destroyed by collectors. And it makes me wonder what they were exposed to. And it's kind of like I take that information and I file it in the little filing cabinet in the back of my mind to remind myself to be very, very careful and remind myself that it is not a toy. This is not a toy as much as we want to play. I air quote, we play with them and we change them and we talk about how beautiful they are and we like them to emulate being real babies. They're still a piece of artwork and they're still delicate. Even the most durable silicone doll out there is still technically a delicate item. So I just always try to keep that in mind. I always try to remind other collectors out there that even though you want to enjoy them to the fullest and it's your money you spent on the doll, in the back of your mind, you got to remember that something can always happen to them the more we handle them, the more we expose them to things, the more we use sprays in their hair. And people like to spray their clothes with body spray, baby body spray and things like that. All of that stuff has chemicals in it that could adversely affect the silicone, the matting, the painting, anything, the hair, you name it. You just never know over time what the consequences of using things like that, anything that's a chemical, may affect the doll. And that's just something I like to keep in mind. It's something that I don't begrudge anybody that wants to interact, bathe, feed, do all these things with their dolls. It's up to you. It's your doll. You get to do what you want with it. And I totally enjoy watching everybody else do those things with their doll. It's just not something that I'm comfortable with. And that is why. Because I think truly, history tells us that we really just don't know enough about this long term. The idea is that they will last a lifetime if they're, a specific grade of silicone. Like Claire talks about the fact that she makes her dolls with medical grade platinum silicone, and it's meant to be okay up against our skin. They make prosthetics out of it. But that's also why I kind of tend to stick with her. It's not just the feel that I crave and I love about her dolls. It's the fact that she's so knowledgeable about the silicone. I think that she's become, a top silicone expert in our industry. And I think there are other artists out there that are doing the same, and they do a lot of research. And you can tell based on the longevity of their dolls and how long they've been making them. I think, Romy's another one who's always trying to do the best work. There are so many artists out there that are just striving to produce something so amazing for us and something that's going to last. But just keep in mind, in the back of your mind, we don't really know how long they'll last because it's not just a piece of silicone. It's a painted piece of silicone and matted piece of silicone that we put lots of clothes on, and we mess with them and we handle them, and we may have lotions on our hands. Who knows? We just don't know. That's the thing I want people to keep in mind. And that is the takeaway, is that, it's a very big gray area when you talk about silicone durability. It's just not cut and dry. If you could list an artist and what I've experienced with that artist, I can tell you that it varies whether their more firm silicone is more durable than the less, more soft or marshmallowy type of silicone. It's going to vary from artist to artist. And I know that doesn't really help answer that question, but it is something that you just learn over time. And that may change with the artist as they evolve and as they change up what they're doing in the mixture of silicone that they're using. So it's ever changing. It's an always a moving target, because artists are striving to do more, learn more, bring us more, give us more realistic, and still keep it, a good quality product out there. I think that's just the bottom line, and it's something that we should keep in mind as collectors and as we continue to buy dolls and moving forward. But I hope that's not super confusing. I know it's a huge topic. I feel like it would be even better suited to do like a live where people can ask me questions, because there's so many artists to talk about. It's very hard to just say cut and dry, like here's a list of artists and here's what I've experienced with them, because there's a lot of artists out there that I still haven't experienced, and I may never experience, just because I'm very content where I am now, and I'm very happy with the quality in which I get from Claire Taylor. But I've lived and learned what I like, and I don't want to risk going back to certain artists' dolls that I had bad luck with and had a hard time with because the silicone wasn't durable at all and it tore very easily. It's a scary thing when you invest that amount of money, and it kind of scars you, I guess, to go back and try the artist in the future, even though they may have really done a great job to change their silicone mixture. Once you've kind of been bitten, it's hard to kind of go back to that artist. So I've kind of got this list of artists that I probably will never buy from, only simply because I've had such a bad experience with in the past. And that doesn't mean they're not putting out good products now, but because I had a bad experience, I just won't go there. I hope that makes sense. But anyways, that's the chat, guys. That's my take on it. Like I said, I could probably talk for a long time. Maybe I should do a live. I think that would be super helpful for people to be able to ask questions, specific questions that they want to know about. And if I have the answer, I'd be happy to share my experience with it. You guys can let me know. But here is Monroe in her little sleeper. And it's like a little circus theme, but it's so cute. I love the color scheme on it. And it's got little stripes on the feet. And this is a 0 to 3 month size, and it's a little big on her. So I have a couple new sleepers coming for her from Jules, and I ordered the newborn size because I noticed I do have another newborn size little floral one that it fits her better. So I've got the newborn size coming. But there she is in her comfy attire for the day. Super cute. I will not be putting anything in her hair. I'm just going to leave her comfy cozy, because I wouldn't put anything in baby's hair if I were putting them in a sleeper anyways, because they're probably going to go to sleep. But anyways, guys, feel free to post your questions in the comments below if you have any. I hope I didn't make it super confusing, because it really is not straightforward one answer to that question, unfortunately. Yeah, and it's a discussion I think we should keep having, because I think as newer collectors come into the community, I think that people get this, if it's softer silicone, it's this, and it's hard, it's more firm silicone, then it's more durable there. And it's just not the case. So yeah, that's why I always tell people, that's why I get a lot of questions from people asking what my thoughts are, because yeah, I tend to have quite a bit of experience with having a lot of these dolls at one point in time or another. So anyways, guys, that's it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. It's pretty gloomy here. I'm probably going to catch up on more videos, because I fell behind last week because I really didn't watch many, only like a couple. And I'm way behind on all my friends' videos, so my apologies. But yeah, that's it for us today. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Sunday. And Monroe and I will see you all soon, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.